Hello and welcome to the Black and Gold 2019. Gonna adjust here real quick. It's fantasy season, baby. We're in it. It's Tuesday. Bids are open. Bids are coming down tomorrow. It's week one. I'm excited. I got all my drafts in. I'm gonna win every single league this year, naturally. I'm gonna win one of them, and I think you guys know which one it is. Had a great draft this year. Always a good time at the brewery. Glad everybody could make it out that could make it out. Donnie, hopefully we'll catch you next year. Tough luck this year. But let's move into the week one previews. I'll have a little bit of team review, not too much, but mostly just week one. And we'll start with the 2019 Black and Gold Dynasty League favorite, the Cheswick Zombies, with their nice new helmet and new team name. Ready to start a dynasty of champions. Leading off with Deshaun Watson at quarterback. I think he's going to have a nice game with his hookup to DeAndre Hopkins. They're going to have a big year. Major reason I feel more confident in the championship. I think he's going to have a big year. Hopkins is going to have a big year. Everybody's going to be big. It's going to be huge, guys. I don't know if you know this, but I like my team. However, the Cheswick Zombies' opponent is quite formidable. The ARG is going with the hot new Baker Mayfield over Kirk Cousins. He's got the ODB hookup, and I gotta say I like Baker more than Kirk Cousins this year. Baker's gonna be good. That offense is tough. I think that's a right decision. We'll see if it pays off in the end. So quarterback is gonna be really tight. They're both gonna put up a lot of points. I'm gonna skip running back. We'll come back to that. Wide receiver though, just between these two teams. On ARG, you have Odell Beckham, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, and the fourth wide receiver I think is very sneaky. Emmanuel Sanders could have a big year before he starts coasting off into the sunset. I think he's an underrated talent who's going to get a lot more targets than people are thinking. Flacco's definitely a questionable talent at quarterback, but I love Emmanuel Sanders as a sneaky pick this year. For the Cheswick Zombies, as usual, it's wide receiver city. You got DeAndre Hopkins, the best dynasty wide receiver in the game. With Deshaun Watson throwing him touchdowns all day, that should be an easy load of points. After that, you got Julio Jones, Amari Cooper, and the only question mark, it's up in the air. Corey Davis, will he ever live up to his, a fourth overall pick in the NFL draft? Will he live up to that potential? Marcus Mariota's sure going to make it tough, but the fact that he's my wide receiver 4, I feel all right with. I'm going to give myself the slight advantage of Cooper over Kupp. That's super hard to call. Super close. An amazing squad of receivers on each side. At running back, though, I don't love the ARG's running backs in the terms of it's not a sexy core, but they're sneaky good. He's got Mark Ingram, who's just going to be a bell cow back there, getting tons of touchdowns if that offense can get rolling. He's got Chris Carson, same thing, keep the offense rolling, catch some passes. And Tariq Cohen, who's just one of those sneaky PPR guys. That's not a sexy 3, but I think they're going to be reliable on the year. On the other side, though, it's pretty damn sexy. We got Todd Gurley, who everybody's afraid of, but week one he should be healthy enough, so we'll see what happens there. I think he's okay. I think he's all right. After that, David Johnson and Dalvin Cook. David Johnson's got that new air raid offense in Arizona. I think he's going to be catching a lot of passes. I think they're going to put up a ton of points. I love that they're not playing their offense in the preseason and just keeping it under wraps. We'll see what it looks like in week one, I guess. Up in Minnesota, as long as Dalvin Cook stays healthy, he's going to be a ton of points. Health is an issue, but not in week one, so I like him a lot this week. And at tight end, I forgot to write down our defenses, so it's defense, I don't know. But Ertz for the ARG, obviously getting a ton of points going into Washington. Could be a big game for the Eagles. And for the Zombies, Evan Ingram, not quite Zach Ertz, but with whatever his face is, out for paternity issues for 4 weeks of taking PEDs up in New York. Evan Ingram could get peppered with a lot of targets because they pretty much have Ingram, Shepard, and Barkley to catch the ball. And besides that, it's going to be rough goings for that stellar New York Giants offense. I'm going to pick the Zombies in this one. I know it's a surprise to everybody, but I got to give myself the slight edge at running back. And it's going to be a close game. We need to pick up these... we need to pick these previews up a little bit. 5 minutes for the first one. Let's see if we can do a little better in the next ones. Next, we got Resting Bitch Face going against the Erie Inhabitants. He's not from Erie. He doesn't have James Conner. I don't hate the name, but it's weird. It's weird, Craig. Resting Bitch Face, putting Lamar Jackson. I think he's going to have a good running production this year. I just think he can't throw the ball. I'm not a big believer. I know some guys are huge on him, and they think he's kind of the future of the NFL, a la Kaepernick 5 years ago, but I don't see it. They need to definitely design the offense around him, just get a lot of quick dump passes and running the ball and options and stuff like that. We'll see what happens there. I'm not a big Lamar Jackson guy. On the other hand, though, we got Tom Terrific. He's playing the Steelers, whose defense should be decent, but he is Tom Brady, and he should put up a lot of points. He's getting the start over Goff, which I'm not sure who's going to have a better day, but Tom Brady went from having Edelman and nobody to having Josh Gordon, Demaryius Thomas, and I can't even think of a guy, Jacoby Myers, who's just all the preseason hype. But he's got a ton of receivers all of a sudden. I like Tom Brady big over Lamar Jackson here. For Resting Bitch Face, you have Saquon Barkley, possibly going to be the best running back ever in the NFL. Write that down. I know it's not a bold statement, but he's insane. Le'Veon Bell, I love him. That Jets offensive line is rough, but I think he's going to persevere through it. And Kerryon Johnson, who I think is going to have a huge year. That's a great 3 running backs. So what could the Inhabitants have that could beat that? They got Leonard Fournette, who when he's healthy, and again, it's week 1, he's healthy. He's going to have a huge week. Devonta Freeman, when he's healthy, week 1. These guys are going to have huge weeks, followed by Josh Jacobs, who I think they're just going to pound the ball in Oakland. I think he's going to get a ton of touches this year. I don't think they'll have quite as good of a game as Barkley, Bell, and Kerryon, but I do think they're going to have a good game and come close. At receiver, Resting Bitch Face falls flat. They got Mike Williams in the start, and behind him they got A.J. Brown, Marvin Jones, and Danny Amendola is somehow in this league. I'm not sure how, but, good for him. Good for him. Good for you, Greg. They're going up against Mike Evans, Allen Robinson, Sterling Shepard, who is just going to get a ton of targets, and Alshon Jeffrey, who is the world's sneakiest receiver. They're going to blow out Resting Bitch Face's wide receiver core. It's not going to be close. I think that's going to give them the edge in this game, followed up with Kyle Rudolph against Jared Cook. I'm not a big Jared Cook guy. I know he's in New Orleans, but I just think he's overrated. He had one good year. And the Cleveland defense going against Tennessee is definitely going to help Resting Bitch Face, but it's not going to get the job done, as the Erie Inhabitants are going up against Packers on defense, but they have the Chicago defense, who's the early favorite this time in the year. Moving on, Robert Downey Jr. versus Slaughterhouse. This is going to be a close one. We got Aaron Rodgers on the side of Robert Downey Jr. He has a tough matchup in Chicago. I'm not sure if he's at home or away, but playing against Chicago D, that's definitely going to be a harder challenge than Drew Brees has at home against the Houston defense on the Slaughterhouse. Slaughterhouse going unconventional with the Drew Brees start and the Houston defense start. I think Houston might have a little trouble in New Orleans week 1. We'll see what happens there. On Robert Downey Jr.'s side, you got Jordan Howard and James White. Jordan Howard's one of those guys who's not the sexiest running back. He's not a big name out there, not a ton of value, but he gets the job done. James White, kind of the same thing. He's not a ton of value, but he's going to get receptions. He's going to get points. He's going to get the job done. On Slaughterhouse side, you got Joe Mixon, who traveling to Seattle and who is newly added Jadeveon Clowney. I think the Seattle defense is going to be tough, but I think Mixon's good enough. I think his talent's going to outweigh the rest of his offense this year, and he's going to have a big year. Phillip Lindsay, followed by rookie David Montgomery. I have no idea what to expect out of him. That offense is supposed to be pretty good, but haven't seen much yet. I'm not the biggest believers in them. I don't think they're going to be Arizona, but I think David Montgomery should have a pretty decent year. For Robert Downey Jr., our wide receiver, we have Keenan Allen, and then he didn't put his lineup in, so I'm going to guess John Brown, Larry Fitzgerald, DK Metcalf, Deshaun Jackson. That might be the three oldest wide. John Brown's not even that old, but Old Man Fitz and Deshaun Jackson, that's an old couple. Rounded out with Valdez-Scantling. We'll see who they start. That's a hookup with Aaron Rodgers. Might prove favorable throughout the year. At tight end, though, he's got the man. He's got Travis Kelce, who might not be the youngest, but he's definitely the best tight end in the league. Currently should be getting a lot of points from Patrick Mahomes throwing touchdowns. And at defense, they got Denver or Minnesota. I don't think any of these teams have a great defense. Another big sticking point, though, so Slaughterhouse is definitely stacked at wide receiver. They got Michael Thomas, Brandon Cooks, Chris Godwin, and Dede Westbrook, who is a great fourth wide receiver. Hands down, wide receiving's way better for Slaughterhouse. However, at tight end, Slaughterhouse has Trey Burton, who's questionable in a game-time decision, followed up by Gesicki and two other guys who are questionable or something. Tight end's going to be tough for Slaughterhouse this week. Hopefully Trey Burton plays for him. I think that would be a big boost. But if Trey Burton doesn't play, I think Robert Downey could sneak a win in there. But I'm still going to pick Slaughterhouse in this one. Next up, we got the Steelers taking on the returning Black and Gold Dynasty League champions who somehow beat me in the finals. Somehow. The Snarl. And it's easy to see why they are the returning champions. They are pretty much stacked top to bottom, starting with Russell Wilson at quarterback over Cam Newton, who's a great backup to have. He's going against a tough defense, but I think Russell Wilson will have a pretty good day as well. The running back wide receiver core on Snarl is tough to go against. You got Christian McCaffrey, James Conner, and Duke Johnson, who got a big boost with Lamar Miller blowing his injury. That's a great starting three running backs. And then at wide receiver, you got Stephon Diggs, Tyler Boyd, T.Y. Hilton, and Calvin Ridley, who I think the first three are going to be great. Calvin Ridley's still good, but the fact that you got Diggs, Boyd, and Ridley all on a team, nice young core wide receiver, that's going to pan out for the season and for quite a number of years with the veteran presence of T.Y. Hilton there to keep a steady flow of points coming in. I think he's going to do all right with Jacoby Brissett up there. He'll definitely have a decent year. On the other side, Steelers have Carson Wentz going over Ben Roethlisberger. That's a tough call either way. Wentz is going to have a great year. I think Roethlisberger at home against New England's going to have a good year. We'll see what happens there. The addition of Nick Chubb last year was huge for the Steelers, who have been lacking at running back for quite a long time. And then all of a sudden they got Aaron Jones this year and Kenyon Drake. I love the additions. I think that's going to work out great for them. Aaron Jones is going to have a big year, big game. I know it's Chicago's defense, but I think he's good for at least a touchdown and 50 yards. I mean, like, that's worst case scenario. He's getting 11 points, so I think he's going to have a good game this week. At receiver for the Steelers, they got Antonio Brown, who's moved from Pittsburgh to Oakland. He's still AB. I know he's insane, and his feet are cold, and his helmet doesn't fit, but he's AB. He's going to be a wide receiver one this year. I don't care what team he's on, how bad his quarterback is. He's the man. He'll probably be like wide receiver 9, but he's definitely going to be a wide receiver 1 category this year. Second wide receiver, Adam Thielen. That offense, I'm not sure if Thielen's going to have as good of a year this year, especially compared to Stephon Diggs, but hopefully he'll still have a decent year. Followed by Kiki Kuti and Philip Dorsett. Steelers are definitely lacking a little bit of wide receiver depth, but I like that they've finally filled out their running back depth and not just scrounging by with the veterans of Adrian Peterson, Jamal Charles. It was a rough couple years for them. They're finally starting to turn things around in their backfield. Just got to reload at wide receiver, and then I think they might have a better couple years coming up here. You got Austin Hooper at tight end, who's definitely a good tight end, an upper end tight end, not a great one. Could have a better year in that offense, but I think he'll be good, not great. And followed by the Rams defense, who are definitely great, but they're going against Carolina's offense. I'm not sure how good they're going to be. Cam's always tough to play against. You got Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey, though, for all dump outlets. It's going to be tough to get them on turnovers, interceptions, fumbles, sacks, stuff like that. I think he's going to have a lot of safety outlets this year, and could be tough to keep him contained. For the snarl, we're going to round out with the New Orleans defense against Houston. I think that's going to go poorly. I think Houston's going to put up a ton of points. Maybe I'm wrong. They're in New Orleans. They're in the Superdome. But I don't think it matters because I think the rest of the team just outweighs the Steelers and should dominate this week in pretty good fashion. Next up, we got the Raging Hartons going against holy fuck Andrew Luck. That was pretty holy fuck worthy, I'll give you that. And nobody saw that coming, Andrew Luck retiring out of nowhere. And now they don't even have anybody at quarterback. Who they have? They have this Patrick Mahomes guy, Pat Mahomes. He's okay. I don't think he's going to have a great year. He's fine. Dak Prescott, overrated. Kyler Murray, probably going to be out of the league in 2 years. And Dwayne Haskins, who knows? He could be on the street tomorrow, and I wouldn't recognize him. So it's a shame they lost Andrew Luck. Now they have nobody at quarterback, and I think they're going to have a tough time this year at quarterback. For the Hartons, however, they have Phillip Rivers over Matty Ice. I think they're both going to have good years. Either way you want to go there is fine by me. The big thing for the Hartons is they have Ezekiel Elliott, or do they have Ezekiel Elliott? Dallas, Zeke, contract talks getting close. It seems like they're really getting close. I saw the number, I can't remember it. He wants to be the highest paid running back. They want him to be the second highest paid running back. I think he's going to end up signing a deal. I think he'll be ready to go week 1. He definitely doesn't have a lot of leverage because he could be stuck in Dallas for 2 more years not making money. And that would not be the end of his career, but it would be really bad for him. However, it's always nice when your number 2 is Alvin Kamara. Again, this running back duo is the best in the league. You just can't beat Zeke and Kamara. Hopefully Zeke comes back, but having Kamara as your backup number 2 is pretty darn good. Easily could be the number 1 running back overall this year. Followed by Peyton Barber and Kalen Ballage. It's not great, but it's something. It's definitely a running back 3 and 4. For holy fuck Andrew Luck, we have, I'm going to say fuck a lot this year. We have Derrick Henry, Marlon Mack, Sony Michel, and Damian Williams for Kansas City. I'm not big on Damian Williams in the long run, but I think he's going to have a good year this year. I think that's a sneaky points. Sony's going to have a great year. Marlon Mack, you got at the draft and a trade. He's going to have a big year. Definitely going to have less of a year without Andrew Luck. I think that's going to hurt his touchdown total by probably a good 2 or 3 touchdowns. You definitely like to have a really premium quarterback driving the offense, but I think he's still going to have a decent year. I got to give it to Hartons, especially if Zeke, well, I guess that's what it is. It all depends on Zeke. I'll give it to Hartons at running back if Zeke comes back. Otherwise, I'd give it to holy fuck Andrew Luck. For Hartons, though, the wide receivers are nuts. There's only 3 of them, but Devontae Adams, probably a wide receiver 1 this year. Be surprising if he wasn't. Julian Edelman, very possibly a wide receiver 1 this year. Robert Woods, probably going to be high-end wide receiver 2, maybe a wide receiver 1. He definitely was a wide receiver 1 last year. That's a great starting 3. Leading with running backs, but got a solid core of wide receivers. And the same thing on the other side. They're going with a little more potential with Kenny Golladay and Tyler Lockett, but led by Juju, taking all those Antonio targets, or at least most of them. I think Juju's going to have a big year. Pretty close on the wide receiver thing, but again, give it to Hartons. Hunter Henry against O.J. Howard's tight, and defenses are random. I'm going to give it to the Sun. Holy fuck, Andrew Luck taking down his dad week 1, getting those bragging rights early in the year. Enjoy them while you can. This video is long. That's the end of it, though. Thanks for sticking around. I'm sorry it took 20 minutes, guys. I don't know if it's the speed. Maybe it's all of this stuff. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to a great year. No video coming next week. I'll be in Florida, enjoying the sun. I'll be thinking of you guys, though. Don't worry. I'll be thinking of you guys. I look forward to getting the belt. I look forward to stealing the belt off my dad. And I'll just put random posts all the time. Every preview next year could be me wearing the belt. You guys will love it. You will love it. So look forward to that. Have a great year. I'll definitely see you guys in 2 weeks. I don't think I'm going to sneak one in next week, but you never know. All right. Good luck week 1. Have fun, guys.